I got to ask you about the draft and some of the quarterbacks. You know, this year only one quarterback went in the first round, Kenny Pickett to Pittsburgh. What do you think about that? And did these teams just not be impulsive and reach too high and put a lot of expectation on a kid, but now can maybe settle for him in a position that gives him a chance to be successful?
You know, I think it was an interesting combination of two things. One, you know, there are a lot of quarterbacks, or I should say there aren't a whole lot of open, available quarterback positions, you know, teams that are in super dire need of somebody, right? There are a few of them in the NFL right now. But I think that this year's quarterback class was such that these are the guys that may need a couple years to develop, right?
Yep.
These are the guys that may turn into those guys that once you sit and watch for a year or two, then you get put into the mix, right? Remember, people have talked a lot about Aaron Rodgers, right? And, you know, all the stuff over the last couple of years with his contract situation. Let's not forget that Aaron Rodgers sat. Carson
3 years.
Sat,
3 years.
Right?
Yeah.
These guys sat behind players and watched and developed into the type of player they are. The other thing, too, that's been really interesting, and this is a whole other conversation, but the NFL game has changed such that there is such a premium on wide receivers as opposed to running backs, right? Remember when we were playing, it was if you didn't have a 1,200-yard back, a 1,500-yard back, you were in trouble.
You were lost,
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And receivers were a dime a dozen. You could pick a guy to catch six passes for 65 yards every game. Now the NFL game has changed to the point where teams are chucking the ball and they need that stud. And so it didn't surprise me that you saw, what was it, six
of them,
receivers taken in the top 20 picks. I mean, that was crazy. I mean, that tells me how much the NFL game has changed. You combine that with the A.J. Brown trade, yes, with the talk of Deebo Samuel, getting traded. I mean, this is becoming a wide receiver dominant league. You combine that with so many teams have their guys right now, and this crop of NFL potential quarterbacks maybe be in the group that needs to sit for a year or two, and I wasn't surprised that you saw 6 wideouts go and only 1 quarterback.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.